that later. We talk about that
Yeah.
later.
We are live.
Live.
Hey, happy
We're
Sunday.
live.
Happy Sunday. Yeah.
Yes.
How you guys
Happy
doing?
Sunday, fellas.
Doing
Doing
excellent.
well. Doing well, man.
I believe it. You sound like you're
Doing
doing well.
well. Yeah, it has been a day, man. Beautiful sunshine
Yeah, it was a beautiful
It
looking day.
was
in
Still a
Michigan.
little chilly, but it looked
very
good.
nice
It looked
Michigan
great.
weather.
Yeah.
There was a breeze that made the chill hit you a little bit.
Oh,
But
yeah.
it's still nice looking.
Yeah, it's still nice looking. So looking at our sunshine today, honestly speaking, fellas, there's no other place I would rather be than right here in Michigan.
Come on.
Okay.
I disagree with you, but
I knew that.
I'm like, okay.
Because I'm standing on my city, my state. Who needs a Florida? Who needs a California?
Oh
Who needs
Lord. I was looking at that weather in not North Carolina, but Las
Atlanta?
Vegas. Las Vegas got 90s right now, baby.
Oh, man.
Bring it on.
And guess what?
Yeah.
They too hot right now, and I'm just right.
Okay.
I don't know. That Vegas is the nice hot weather.
That's that nice hot weather.
That
Not
is
the
true.
humid.
That is
Yeah.
true. I will. I will agree with
Even
that.
90s is good.
Yeah, it's comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So before we jump off into our topic tonight, man, I just want to say that next week is he got up Sunday, Resurrection Sunday,
Mhm.
known to the world as Easter Sunday.
On the third day.
The third day.
Yes. So
Interesting question though. Yeah. Do
we
you
won't
count
be
3
here.
days from Friday or 3 days? How do you count 3 days?
I thought it was Thursday night, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Because if it's Thursday night, then yeah, because
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's
but,
what
we
from
always
my
celebrate
understanding.
Good Friday, like Good Friday was the day. And
Right. No.
you count 3 days from there, it's Monday. But I'm not trying to be controversial tonight.
Right.
Yeah. Hey, that's something that you just provoked me at least to definitely look into. Why is it Good Friday when everything pretty much started on that Thursday night?
Mhm.
Thursday night.
So we're taking that day off. I take it.
Yeah, we're taking that day off.
Okay.
You can wear your nice crisp white, pink, lime suits, Easter suits.
Neon, baby.
And,
Brighter the better.
And you can't forget the straw hats.
Yeah, the straw hats.
Yeah,
And are you speaking to the ladies or the men?
I'm speaking to the men right now.
These days, yeah, the men be wearing some brims, boy. We be wearing some brims to church.
I do love a nice brim though.
The guys are outdoing the ladies so much in the dress, man. I can't think of what to say for the ladies to wear comical because the guys.
I saw Dwayne Wade had on pearls last week.
What?
Yeah, he outdoing his wife.
Oh man,
some pearls, nice little pearls, nice little pink sweater. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, Dwayne Wade, baby. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Styling, profiling.
You're right. I've seen his wardrobe.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just saying he was outdoing the ladies at that time. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be controversial today.
No, don't be controversial.
Once
again. Charles Barkley. It takes Charles Barkley to talk about the way these guys in the NBA currently now and former players like Dwayne Wade.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to
hear about their dress. It's he don't like it. Hey, Selena, thanks for joining us tonight.
Hey,
so yeah, so we'll be off next week. This week is Palm Sunday. So Nate, won't you tell them what they can do before we just launch off into the show tonight?
Yeah, before we get started, guys, we want to thank you for joining us tonight. And if you'd be so kind as to hit that thumbs up button right below our screen here. If you like what you're seeing, if you like what you've been seeing, hit that thumbs up button. Drop a comment in the comment section during the live chat. We'd like to talk back to you. And afterwards, we come back and answer your post, your questions, your concerns, your comments. So please leave a comment. Please share the broadcast, share our channel so people know that we're on and that you have found an outlet that you support. And finally, hit that subscribe button, please. The more of you who subscribe, the more of you or the more YouTube will push these videos and those thumbs up pushes this video out to more people.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. So we have an interesting topic tonight. It's about self-image.
Mm-hmm.
Self-image.
I think so.
Yeah, I think so too. So, and you can go a lot of ways with
You can't.
self-image. So I don't want to be,
Well,
I don't want to.
I got a definition.
Yep, I'm gonna
So we
ask you to
could
read that in
okay.
just a second. But I just want to say I don't want to pigeonhole anybody to say that that's not how I see it. Um, we're just speaking from our view
Mm-hmm.
of what it means to us personally. But
Yeah,
it could mean it could have a vast, array of different meanings to somebody else. So with that being said, Nick, can you
Yeah, just to
hit us with that
establish a
definition?
baseline of where we're
where
we're
we're
all
coming
focused on and what we're talking about. Self image, according to Google, what is self image? Self image is the personal view or mental picture that we have of ourselves. Self image is an internal dictionary that describes the characteristics of the self, including such things as intelligent, beautiful, ugly, talented, selfish, and kind. Self image, once again, is
Yeah.
the personal view or mental picture that we have of ourselves.
Mhm.
So, so we can all be on the same page. That's what we mean when we say self image.
Okay. So
Yes.
how you view yourself?
How you view
Um,
yourself. And I think the context of this conversation is multifaceted, but I think, if I'm not mistaken, Ray had a good point off camera
Uh,
that one's self image must be embraced outside of all other influences.
yeah,
that's
and
true.
that's the hard thing. Um, that's the hard thing that people can struggle with. They get
Hmm.
stuck there. So,
Yeah.
but before we go on, and I'm going to ask the question, y'all can kind of get it in your mind. What do you think some of the things over your years of living kind of shaped or poured into your self-image of how you see yourself?
That's a good question because, as I was thinking about this, and we've talked about this before, identity, self image, and identity are kind of synonymous.
Mhm.
There are a lot of things that influence how we view ourselves, how we imagine ourselves,
Yes.
and the subsequent behaviors that come from how we view ourselves. It could be like a nurture versus nature kind of thing, but I think both Nathan, the nurturing and the environment help shape, our image, our self image.
It helps shape it.
Yeah.
Um,
Hmm.
yeah, it does play a part because
I think so.
yeah, I think so too. As I was riding, thinking about this topic, I had a lot of uh, um, emotions because the environment does play a part, but sometimes that part that they play may not be a great part,
Yeah.
or sometimes the way I view myself and the expectations that I put on myself
Hmm.
may not always be the wise way to view myself.
Right.
That's
Case in
true.
point. Case in point. And I don't want to make this another topic about the Oscar gate.
Can't help but talk about it.
But I saw a new video that was just released, which kind of has something to do with or fits right in line with what we're talking about, self-image. Uh, Jada released they dug into the crates and found an old video of Jada filming Will at their house,
Hmm.
asking him a question about some guru that was helping them with their marriage, and she caught him off guard. And have you guys seen that? I don't
I've
want to.
not seen it.
No.
Okay, it's really good. It's not good that he was put on blast like that. She was just filming him, and he was standing in the house, and he had a whole facial meltdown. His body got tense, and he just simply asked his wife. He said, "Can you?" She said, "Will, are you excited?" I can't think of what exactly she said, but she asked him about the counselor that had helped them with their marriage. And
Hmm.
he looked at her. His response wasn't, "Yeah, Jade, I'm excited," or "Yes, you did a pretty good job." He got
Hmm.
tense. He was like, "Can you please not film me right now? I'm in my house." And he said, "My self-image is my moneymaker." So, I mean, he was just trying in a calm voice. And she flips the camera back on herself and say, "Lord, whatever the person's name was, you to come back and help us again. I'm still dealing with this foolishness." And then she turns the camera back on him again, and he's still just kind of like don't want to shake his head. He's trying to hold it together, but it's obvious he's not happy in that moment right there, and she's disrespecting his moment. So, saying all that to say, a lot has been said about Will and his marriage, and I'm not trying to speak on his marriage, but people have said that there isn't a self-image issue that's going on in Will's life. And when I saw that video, it really kind of made me think like, wow, you can have all the money in the world. You could be loved by millions and billions of people. But yet and still, your self-image can still be attacked. You can still struggle with how you view yourself because I guess the people who count the most don't see you that way, how you see yourself. I don't know. What you think about that?
That's such a prominent thing in celebrity, among celebrities. I mean, we see it over and over with all the suicides and the drug overdoses and the drug abuse, and in that arena is crazy. And it all stems back to that low self-image, low self-worth. You're loved and adored by millions. You got millions and billions of dollars. I mean, look at Kanye West right now. I mean, the list goes on and on. So that speaks volumes over money has no play in this.
Yeah. It's not about the stuff, man. It's about the internals. And when your life is lived to in a facade, so to speak, to try to present an image for everyone else,
especially
but in the quietness of your own home or behind closed doors, you're struggling with how you even view yourself. In the celebrity world, you can put on a face, you can present or project an image because you're good at performing, whether you're an actor or musician or whatever. You're accustomed to performing and putting on a face, a mask. But when that mask comes off, you got to look at yourself in the mirror and ask, well, who am I really? Am I this image that I put out on the stage or on the camera and film? Who am I? And then that really is where the issues are. With a lot of people that struggle, like you talking about Will, people that struggle with a real self-image or an identity issue, it's because they haven't formed one.
Oh, that's good, Nate. And I was gonna say, because we know, as you read the definition and you said, Nate, that it's other people that can kind of help shape that. We can't get away from that. That's obvious. But who should we listen to? That's what it boils down to. And I understand that everyone that listens or gets down with the Knowledge and Power crew, everyone may not be 100% a believer, and that's not knocking anybody at all. Because we're listened to by people that we know and that we don't know, and even some people that we do know that have accepted Christ in their life. They still have some struggles or whatever. But ultimately, I think, as I sat back and thought about this all week, is it really kind of boils down to, what does God say about you? What has He designed you, created you to be? And that's up to us to find that out. One of my favorite gospel songs, easily, not trying to be controversial, as Nate has said twice already, in my top 5, because I'm a word guy, and what is it when I sit with it, and it's a song that can't be dated, is Kirk Franklin's "Imagine Me." Love that song. And then the opening line, he says, "Thank you for allowing me to see myself the way you see me." And we all know Kirk's struggles. Because he's admitted it, that his self-worth, his identity, his self-esteem, all that stuff was just kind of like is low. So for him to pen the pad this song here, I love it, man, because this song resonates with me. Personally.
That makes me think of Marvin Sapp's song, "He Saw the Best in Me when everybody else could only see the worst." One of my favorite scriptures is we're fearfully and wonderfully made and created in His image and likeness.
Hmm.
Those two, and if more people could see that and let that be their foundation, it
Right.
might
Yeah.
elevate a little bit. But
Yeah.
like you said, people around us shape and mold those images instead of from within, and that's where you get the distortion.
You
Hmm.
get to exactly, Jake.
Ooh, that's good. The distortion. I like that word,
Mhm.
distortion. Because that fits well in line with imagery. Sometimes
Yeah,
things get skewed, they
right.
get distorted, they get uh, dulled and blurred
Yep, your view.
because of you know interferences or doubts or things of that nature. I know we're probably going to get into it later
Yeah,
about what God actually thinks about us and
yeah,
whatnot, but people's self-image, their self-esteem, their identity is often formed young.
Ooh, yeah, you're going
yeah,
somewhere with that, Nate.
It's
yeah.
often formed
You're
young,
going
and
somewhere.
That's it.
it's often I wouldn't say fixed, but it's kind of a staple in your life, how you view yourself, what lens you see yourself through.
Yeah,
Words help to define one's self-image. Actions help define one's self-image. Environment helps define one's self-image. So you take all these things into effect, and then you say, if you want a positive self-image, then you've
yeah,
got to be introduced early,
yeah.
I think, to positive influences,
Definitely.
Yeah, I
because that's
agree.
going to help shape how you view the world, thereby view yourself.
Yep.
Yeah.
But so many people struggle with
In the
negative
childhood.
self-image.
Yeah.
I mean, you go online, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever,
Mhm.
and you see posts from people all the time struggling. I mean, just struggling with who they are, how they
Just
see
looking for a
themselves.
like, hoping they get a like, huh?
Yep,
Yeah.
hoping to get a
Yeah.
like. But they're struggling, and they're admitting, this is where I am, and I feel bad about myself, and I don't like myself, and I don't like this, and all these depressive posts and memes and whatnot that people post. That's the state of people's self-image, and you have to ask yourself, where does that come from?
Yeah.
How are so many people being injected with negative self-image in the society today?
Well, I'm glad you asked that. I'm
You
not
got
a
an answer
doctor.
too?
I am not a doctor. Neither do I play one on TV because I don't have a TV to play anything on. But, but, but I've sat with myself enough to kind of go back down memory lane.
Hmm.
And all I can say is, and it's still a work in progress. But I'm so much better off than I've ever been in my life before. Um, because I think I allowed myself as a child to internalize. And I'm talking about through the grade school years, middle school, and all that kind of stuff. So I'm not
Mhm.
even talking about from family. I'm talking about from the people on the outside of family, the friends you have to go and sit in the classroom with for the
Oh
bulk
yeah.
of your day. So to go back to what you just said, Nate, pretty much paraphrasing, how does it start? Where does it start from?
Yeah.
It starts from you sitting in the back of the class, in the fifth grade or fourth grade, and people are just brutally honest about how they feel about you or how they see you.
Hmm.
Right.
And if you're not strong enough to shake that off or have somebody in your space to be able to bounce that off of, and they tell you the opposite of what's been said about you. I mean, because I'm not a big guy in the sense of height wise,
Hmm.
size wise. So I endured a lot of, he's so small growing up. So the rejection from the girl thing, if we can
Hmm.
Yep.
just be honest about that.
Yep.
Tell the
I dealt
truth.
with that. I'm telling the truth now. I dealt
Come
with
on,
that a lot.
transparent moment.
I
Yes,
dealt with that a
yes.
lot, through middle school, through, high school, while I was, the friend, but that was as far as it can go because of, you're so small, you're so little, you don't have the financial things that other people had access to that I didn't
Hmm.
have access to. I mean, growing up, we had just what we needed.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But again, that's not anybody's fault. So then you get to college years and you're kind of bitter and you're angry because of how you've been rejected and the rejection is still coming on. So to handle that, you start being this, on the sneak tip guy trying to be friends with somebody, and you dang, I can't believe I took it that far.
You in there now.
Yeah. So you use a person, it's almost like you getting back at all the negative things that you were exposed to. So here's my get back moment now. I really have no intentions to go any further than what it was. I'm not trying to date you, marry you, and those are all the things for me.
Yeah.
And that wasn't great, that wasn't good at all. But it's because of that self-image was so low.
Right.
Yeah.
And the only way I knew how to fix it was to swing back, and I swung low.
Okay.
To people who hadn't even probably had anything to say, or they didn't contribute to that warped mentality that I had developed. But all I knew is that you're not going to, or you think I'm just a little guy, or you think I'm just too short, or whatever. Yeah, you think I can't fight. Just trying to prove yourself for things that were just
mechanism.
Defense mechanisms.
Yeah.
I think that the one of the biggest indicators of what type of self-image you have is really shown in the reflection of how you treat other people.
It is.
The behavior that you were talking about, Ray, was a direct result of how you felt about yourself.
Exactly.
And so,
exactly.
The Bible says that, well, here's a paraphrase, treat others like you want to be treated, love people the way you want to be loved.
Yeah.
And that's a common phrase throughout the world, throughout the world, communities and whatnot. But I think that's when you have a problem, loving people and treating people with a certain respect and a certain amount of pleasantness, it just shows what you internally are dealing with. That you probably have an issue with how you view yourself, so you really have a disregard for how you view other people.
Yeah.
It's something you need to look at as an individual. Everybody needs to examine themselves, so to speak. And because sometimes we think more highly of ourselves than we ought to. We think we have great self-esteem and self-image, but we treat other people like crap.
Exactly. And I would say, my outsides did not match my insides. Outside, man, it looked like nothing get to you. You are just strolling through life. But on the inside, I'm fractured. Trying to figure this thing out called life. That's how Prince started the song. Someone said, Ray, do you think that was another form of bullying after you've been bullied? Yes, after I've been bullied. Yeah, I definitely think that I took on the role of the bully after I had been bullied. But again, when we've heard the statement, hurting people hurt people. But at some point in life, I think that all of us are responsible for, it's not about, it's all about how you end the game, not about how you start.
That's how you end. That's how you end. That's how you end.
And like I said, the young, fragile years, I had a protector. I just didn't believe my protector. My protector was, I think my parents did a great job. But again, it's about how I viewed myself. And well, I don't have all the items. I don't have access to cars and clothes that the people I had surrounded myself around. They had that stuff. So all you want to tell me about is, how much of a good person I am, how loving I am, and how y'all raised me. Well, okay, that's not getting me ahead of the game. I got to go to school and face the people who really don't look at me as being nothing more than just a nice guy.
Wow. You brought up an interesting point. I'd like to hear from the people in the audience. What are the components of a good self-image? Is it stuff, or is it personality traits, characteristics? Throw your response in the comments. What are some of the components of a good self-image?
Okay. And I'm gonna try to throw them up as they come. Okay, I got one right here. It says we all want to regain control, and do you think we need control for a strong self-esteem? Do you think we need control for a strong self-esteem, fellas?
Control of what? I wonder.
I guess
Like
be able to control the moments.
control the environment, the people around you, or
the people around you, will that help build our self-esteem?
Yeah, I think it helps because
it probably would,
yeah,
but
go ahead, Jake.
who can control it though? At all times.
At all times, things can't be controlled, but there are things you can control. There are controllables. Just like you got controllable expenses, there are things that you can control in every situation. And your control, I think she just said it here. Hey, Michelle, that's my lovely wife, by the way. Yeah, yourself, your emotions. Those are things that you can control. You can get a hold of those.
Yes.
And if you have self-control, yeah, I think that helps.
Like you said earlier, you asked what are the things that shape and mold us into these images that are not our own. And like Ray's story, school is a major one. And then as you get older, there's the TV and social media and all these things that you compare yourself to.
Yeah.
So you really have to control yourself. But when you're young and in school, that's the time you have the least control of what you feel and think. You know, but kids nowadays, they seem to do a better job of it. They seem to.
You think so?
You think so? Yeah, I just had to ask that too.
They seem like now this is me. I'm who I am, and they got that.
But
right, wrong, or whatever. They do have a very strong
sense of self.
Yeah.
But check this out. I don't mean to cut you off, Jake. I'm so sorry. So you want to go ahead and finish with your statement?
No, go ahead.
Yes, I agree with that. But everybody is on the bandwagon with everybody now.
That's true too.
I mean,
break that down for me. Break that down.
Meaning that what's the term? Live your
best life,
best life, or whatever.
YOLO. You only live
once. It's not even that. It's just
I know
that
where
whole
you're
thing.
Going.
I can't think of the statement right now. I can't believe I'm forgetting it. But long story short, whatever I choose to do, whatever I choose to be, wherever I choose to go, don't hate on me for my decisions. And people are, they don't want to comment. They don't want to. I'm talking about people in their own age groups or whatever. They just be like, "Oh yeah, do you?
Yeah, that's it.
Yes,
do you.
yes." And that could be dangerous because sometimes you need a good friend. And I talked. I think he's listening on us a couple of times. I had a pretty good friend back in high school, and he would, pull me to the side sometime. If you're listening well, I'm talking about you. He would pull me to the side sometime, and he would just kind of, try to get my head on straight because I was doing some stupid stuff. So guess what? The people in the Do You movement now, they're still, along with some of the intelligent things that they're doing some dumb things.
Yes. Right.
And if you don't have a friend that's willing to speak up and say, I'm not down with that because they're afraid that they're going to be canceled because of the cancel culture, then that's a problem.
Yeah.
That's a problem. I don't want to sit across from you guys in life and y'all just let me live vicariously any kind of way I want to.
Right.
If you're a friend, then I would expect for you to call me out on my mess.
Yeah.
If you can't do that, you're probably only going to hear from me during the holidays just to see how you're doing because I need real people because we don't always make smart decisions.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I think that a strong sense of self is not the same as a strong self or a positive self-image.
That's true.
I think those two are completely.
Oh man, that's so true. Yeah.
Because you can have a strong sense of self, and your self is completely fractured and broken. So you have a strong sense of a broken, fractured person.
That's so
and you're promoting that and asking other people not to say anything about it, not to judge it, not to hold you accountable because you don't want to have to explain your actions or your behaviors. Yeah. But your behaviors and actions are being generated from a broken sense of self.
And those kind of people mask it and cover it with a false self-confidence. They look to everybody else like, oh, they got it going on. Like, oh, everybody loves them.
Yeah. That's what I said earlier about myself on my insides never matched my
Mm-hmm.
outside for a long time. And like I said, I think I've said this on the show a few times, that I am finally at the place in my life where I enjoy who I wake up to.
There you go.
I enjoy waking up to me every day. Doesn't mean that I'm perfect. Doesn't mean that I'm knocking it out of the park. But we talked before we were on the air about application.
Mm-hmm.
I finally get it now. I understand that when I make a mistake, it's about recovery time, and it's about applying certain things. And it may and I'm comfortable being. Every day I try to prepare for where I'm trying to go.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's just my mindset. So if I have to turn some things down, I'm comfortable with saying no.
That's good.
And I could have never said that some years ago.
And those mistakes aren't the end of the world, because we're overly critical of ourselves, you know?
Yeah.
That's true.
So that's good.
That's true.
Yeah. But that came, well, look how late in life it came, but it finally happened though. Cause this is my late 40s, you know, and like I said, I'm just embracing it like crazy now. There was never too late. There was going back to the whole self-image thing. I remember I was shopping for a car right before I turned 50.
Mm-hmm.
That was going to be my treat to myself, and I want to preference it was you know, just the person I was hanging around with, was nothing more than that. I can tell that their self-image was pretty bad.
Okay.
Because it was all about the status of what you had. You're at this age now, so you should have this. And all the cars that they suggested, man, I wasn't down with those vehicles.
Okay.
And then they went as far as to make a statement like, well, I wouldn't be caught riding in whatever it was I was trying to decide about buying. And I was like,
oh man, yeah.
And I was like, I didn't even say you was gonna ride in my car.
Wow.
And I did. I said that because I was coming into my own then.
You know, they want to be a passenger, bro.
Yeah, right. And I was like, and they were like, you know, you should buy a Cadillac, you should buy a Lexus. I see you in a Lexus. You know, you royalty, you know, and so that's that whole thing of how people can still try to shape or pour into your self-image. And I wasn't having it at this stage of my life.
In adulthood, it's crazy.
Exactly. And guess what? I went and got what I want to get, and I love it. And
So here's the thing. So maybe you can help us, those of us who are listening and those of us who are present, who are still trying to solidify our self images and identities. You know, you have to come to a place in your life where you're so sure of yourself that others can't talk you out of who you believe yourself to be.
Oh man.
How do you get to, how did you, now let's talk about that. How did you get to such a place? Because there's a lot of people, even in our age group, that will succumb to pressures, peer pressure, that will succumb to influences of others, that will succumb to what we see on TV or social media, and try to live our lives to meet that perceived standard, instead of having an internal standard that we ascribe to and that we hold to and that we identify with. How did you come to such a place?
Who you asking, Ray?
Yeah, I'm asking Ray. He's the resident expert right now.
You funny. Well, I just held up a book, the Bible.
The Bible, okay.
Dudes, I mean,
the Biblios.
Yes. And I'm not ashamed to say there were seasons in my life, and I think other people can probably agree, and because they mirrored the same type of example I'm about to give, where you're not hungry for the word like you should be. This is something that we really need to get engrossed into daily. Because if you don't, then you will miss discovering who you are, because we change all the time. God's word doesn't change, and he hasn't changed his mind about who we are. But because of what we see, because of where we're going, because of this fast-paced life, there's a propensity for us to just change. Well, this didn't work. Let me try this. That's not good. Let me try this. And it's happening so fast that we got to slow down. And I finally slowed down. When my world just changed, and I just began to see things so differently, and I began to really tap into a guy. Who am I? Who am I? And once I got past being embarrassed asking that at such a late age in life,
Mm-hmm.
and I begin to develop, and I realize now, bottom line, fellas, is that I'm okay with some losses,
Mm-hmm.
because when you entertain the masses all your life, guess who comes up short? You.
Yeah.
You're never living your full potential.
Wisdom nugget
So
right
true.
there.
It's
Mhm.
the truth. You're never embracing who God designed you to be. I can't be Nate. I
Right.
can't be Jake, and y'all can't be me. And
Mhm.
it just woke me up, and I'm okay with that. And I get a lot of pushback. Some people say I'm stubborn,
Yeah.
and you got to make sure that you're not borderline stubborn, or you got to check yourself. I got to check my ego, or just to make sure that I'm on the up and up, because it can't be stubbornness or it can't be an ego when I know that I've tapped into God and this is what He said about me.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah,
Man, that's good.
that's how I started. But that's because that's a relationship with God. It's not church. It's not a building. It's not
Right.
a group to hang out around. Because sometimes in a disciple group, you can even look at somebody and get attached to what they have in their life. I want a wife like that person. I want kids like that person. I want my street and my flowers to be laid out like that person.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
And that's still not self-image.
Mm-mm.
That's somebody else's.
That's somebody else's.
Yeah.
Right.
But here's the question. Can't we? Oh, hey, Mom. I think that's Mrs. Harris.
Yes,
Mom
Miss
got
Harris.
on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mom. Jake.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey,
Uh-huh.
welcome aboard. No, but I was gonna say that I think that can't we look at other people that we feel have I won't say arrived, but that
They're
we see
accomplished.
accomplishments that we are impressed with or we admire. Can't we pick and choose and say, I want a little bit of that, a little bit of that to help kind of build or help to form how we perceive ourselves or want to perceive ourselves? Or is that dangerous, or should we automatically always
I think it's dangerous.
You think it's dangerous?
Really?
I think it's dangerous.
Explain.
I'm about to explain why. Because if you are walking in relationship with God, and this may seem too super spiritual or deep for some people, but all I'm gonna say is just think about it. Go to God in your time, and hear for yourself. If you are walking with the Lord the way you need to, He does not run out of ideas. So what He has for you is uniquely designed, crafted, and laid out and purposeful for you. So if you fellas, y'all married, if y'all go to a function and y'all wives are laid out in a beautiful dress, and you look across the room and you looking at not other women's bodies, but you're looking at what their wardrobe looks like, you will never appreciate Tanya's. You'll never appreciate Michelle's dress that they have on for you, because you're looking at what somebody else has. When your wives are standing right next to you, all balled out, looking good for you, they don't need to turn no other man's head but yours.
Right.
I see your aspect.
I see what you're saying.
I'm about to charge y'all in a minute, man.
No.
I'm about to charge y'all in a minute.
Look.
It's one of those nights. I told you it's been a week, man. It's been a week for me. It's been a great one.
That's a good point.
I have been in a place. Yep.
That's a good point.
Great place.
But
I think. Oh, go ahead, Jake.
But sometimes you can glean from a good example, though. Maybe not to the point of coveting who they are and what they have, but seeing the goodness of how they did a certain thing. I can apply that to my own life.
We used to sing together.
Right.
And each one of us have our own style.
Right.
I never got up in any performance, and I tried, and I love y'all got some unique voices. And Jake, what you do with yours is phenomenal. And Nate, the stuff that you would do would just blow my mind. But I was never gonna step on stage and try to say, well, I'm gonna try to get this run like Jake and try to hit this high note like Nate. even though it was phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
I respected y'all for what y'all brought to the table and contributed to what we were doing. I wasn't trying to be you.
I got the concept.
Now, if somebody's sitting out there could not be like, but I like those two, but that one right there, he just don't bring it like them. That's on them. I'm sorry you missed it. I got mine. I'm sorry.
Right.
Wow.
But that's
Yo, man, but what
point.
about influences though? Influences. Come on.
Okay.
Come on. Like let's just say, I talked about it earlier, how self-image is formed when you're young, basically. Those are because of influences.
True,
what you see your daddy do, what you see your uncles do, what you see your mom do, what you see your big brother do, what you see your favorite teacher do. You know, all these things help build who you are. So you got to have influences.
Okay, that's good to have an influence, but I'm about to take it to singing again.
Okay, go ahead.
Because we all shared in what was the thing that brought us together? Who was the group that brought us together?
The world famous commissioned.
The world famous commissioned. And I really do believe that I was one of the ones in one of our rehearsals that said, "Are we just gonna sing all their stuff?" It's not that I was hating. I was stirring the pot back then. And I got frowns and pushback from the three of you guys because it was another guy too.
Not me.
Shout out.
And it was a thing of, I wasn't hating on commission. I love commission, but if we were ever going to discover our own identity, people are going to have to accept us for not saying, well, he don't sing it like Mitchell, he don't say it like Fred. They will have to accept us. They were our inspiration to come together, but we couldn't sound like them. Eventually, they don't own harmony. So guess what? We can still harmonize, but we don't have to sound like the brothers.
Exactly.
So that's all I'm trying to say. You can have that influence, but I think it's teetering and borderline dangerous when, when I see them, all I see is commission wannabes. That hurts. That stifles a person's growth.
Okay.
Because we did think we were them.
Exactly. I think it was getting to a point that was so scary that we could do them better than them. That was dangerous.
Wow.
That was dangerous. And what did we do? We finally started writing our own stuff.
Writing our own songs, yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. The memories.
Yeah, but just had to walk back that lane just to kind of bring my point home that you can look over and do a glance of okay, that's cool, but make it your own. You got to make it your own. You can't stand in the mirror and say, but I don't look like you looked on that guy. Your body is different.
You're right.
Exactly. Come on.
You're right. Now my mom told me that years ago, but because my mom sings as well, and she said our first lady from our church back in the day told her, if you don't sing a song your way, it's not your song. And she told that to me. So I'm like, okay, so you have to make it your own.
You have to.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the truth.
I think, bringing it back to the Bible, I think Ray said earlier, there's a scripture that says we have to work out our own soul salvation with fear and trembling.
Exactly.
It don't look the same for everybody.
Yeah, I said that off air. So those.
Yeah, off air. Okay, so you said it off air. It doesn't look the same for everybody. But the beauty of the gospel story, and I'm kind of bringing Ray back into this because he talked about how it was late for him before he solidified who he being comfortable who he was or who he is.
Who I'm becoming now. Yep.
Yeah, the beauty of the gospel story is that it affords us the ability to change at any time in our life. Just because we grew up one way and with one type of self-image or one type of self-worth or identity, doesn't mean that we're stuck with that. Because if we get saved late in life, that is when we begin to adopt the image of God. That's when we get to adopt into our lives and identify with what he says about us. That might happen late in life. You see what I'm saying?
That's good, Nate. That's real good, man.
And so the gospel story is really saying that, you're not stuck with who you are or who you've been. You can always have an opportunity to elevate, change, evolve, go to that next level in your development, because now you have a standard that God has presented for you to follow.
Oh,
Right.
that's it.
See what I'm
That's
saying?
it. Yep.
And so if you follow this pattern, this plan, and you identify with this pattern, this plan, and let that inspire you, influence you, then you can work out that soul salvation.
Yeah.
And become the person that He's called you to be, and do the things He's called you to do.
Yeah.
Because the ability to shift and change because of that new standard is now presented to you. You're not stuck with the horrible influence you had when you were little.
Yeah.
You're not stuck with that. You have an out now. You can become something completely different. What the Bible calls a new creature. You can become a new creature, a new creation in Him.
And even after you find salvation, if we're to let the mind of Christ be in us and put on the mind of Christ, the mind of Christ is infinite. So we're always going to be growing and changing and elevating to do that. Even.
I agree.
That's true.
I agree. I agree. So yeah, it's ongoing, and not saying that you nail it every time,
right?
But I just think that we need to get to a place where, honestly, it's all about, we tap into, who are we? What are we designed?
Yeah.
What kind of imprint should we leave on this world?
Yeah,
we take our last breath.
That's ideal.
That's idea. So with that being said, I think it's even important. We talk about self-image, and we can't escape the fact that things around us can, as Jake used the word, be a distraction sometimes. Can cause us to fall short. So with that being said, I've learned also late in life that some people, you got to be careful who you let into your circle.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's just the truth. I have to examine your life. And I'm talking about you guys I'm sitting across from right now, because it's fresh, and we're talking to the masses, and they're hearing us. If we can't accept check from each other, one of us starts to wilding out, living a lifestyle that's just like, contrary to who we claim to be. And if I wouldn't throw you away, and I hope you wouldn't throw me away, but you need that sit down talk. But if you cannot, or you refuse to hear the sit down talk, then I have to go back to my statement I said earlier. It'll be checking on you during the holidays.
Right.
Because that's important. Because if I look across at your life and you just wilding in good time, and guess what? That's going to put some pressure. That's going to put some unnecessary thoughts in my mind to say, wow, Jake look like he's having a
look what they're doing. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. And that's
true.
Yeah.
And that's just something that's unnecessary to put myself through.
Unnecessary pressure.
Right.
Which goes to say that, all throughout our lives, there's always going to be external pressure to change who you are.
Yeah.
Right.
But, we get to the place where we're so sure of who we are, then that pressure has a minimal effect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
But you always have to be open to new information, though, at the same time.
That's true. Yeah. But guess what, Nate? And like I said, I'm not trying to swat everything down. It is tennis season, and I'm getting a little itchy. As I was driving through the city in this nice weather, especially today, people's out on the course, and I just saw people just hitting the balls back and just smashing. So, yeah, I guess I'm having a tennis moment on this mic right here. But I'm not trying to swat it down. But sometimes it's good to have someone to talk to, an influencer or whatever, encourager. But guess what I realized about a lot of people? Not everybody, but a lot of people. They don't tell you the full story. They don't tell you how they got there, and then we bump our heads on the wall and pound our fists trying to figure out why is it not happening for me. But they give you the quick edit version.
Yeah, the edited version.
And my thing is, if one of the things that I have tried to be and haven't always nailed it, and I say this to my nieces and nephews all the time when I chat with them, my older ones, I've always tried to be transparent with you. If something wasn't going right in my life, I'm gonna tell it first before you hear somebody else, because they're gonna always embellish it.
Tell it wrong.
or if I'm trying to approach something, trying to do a hustle or whatever, I'm gonna try to give you all the good and the bad of those steps of me working myself to the bone. This is what I'm trying to accomplish, because there's always a method behind what I'm doing. I'm not just doing something vicariously just to do it. So my reason why, my end date, and I'm telling you the hard, the grind, and then the colorful part of it too. So you can never go in and say, well, he didn't tell me this part, this is hard, or did he ever want to give up? Yes, I want to give up sometimes.
Oh yeah.
You gotta tell that full story if you're going to be an influencer of somebody, because they just see your success.
Yeah.
They see the finished product. That's all they see.
Right.
That's true.
Yeah.
In this day and age, you better have a strong self-image, because everybody wants to be an influencer.
Yeah.
And you'll be tossed to and fro.
To and fro. Driven like the
trying
sea.
to find somebody to follow when you, instead of getting, like you said, in that Bible and finding out who you really are yourself.
Yeah, that's good, Jake. We had a comment. Encouragement is just that, instructions, and truth is not always welcome.
That's true. That's true. But I think you made a good point in that. Back to the Bible, we often tell people the what's of Scripture. This is what you should do. This is what. But we don't tell them the how or the why. And so we short people on the experience, because just telling them, you need to love people more, but how do I do that? That's the practical part of what I think it gets missed a lot of time, and discipleship and over the pulpit. Sometimes you get a lot of instruction on what, but how do I do it? Why am I even doing this? And I think that when you get to that point where you can explain the reasons and the processes and the steps behind things, it helps people out more than just saying, stop living a life of lasciviousness, like the Bible says. Well, what does that mean? Why? How do I do that? I don't know how. And the Bible's not exactly, crystal clear sometimes on the how. Yeah. And so that's where we come in.
Man, I think that's where we're losing our young people, because they want to know how and why out of anything else. They more than about what, they want to know how and why. And we never supply that for them.
And that's why I love to tell my story. We also don't tell them about failures. That's why I'm about to mention my failure, Michelle.
I never failed, so I'm not sure I can identify.
It's right, because you're the great Dr. Reverend Bishop Pastor Brother Hall.
Man, but I'm the chief of failing.
But that's why I'm not ashamed of my famous 0.85 grade point average that I got my first semester of college. My 0.85 grade point average.
0.85.
Yep.
Out of 4.
And Nate got a 2-something. Well, we did the same thing. Okay, but no, this is my point.
Renaissance versus South
Kettering,
yeah.
I was in all honors class. But anyway, my point was, I was on the verge of being kicked out of school, but this joker and some other person I won't name, them jokers got decent grades. They weren't great, but they were decent. They weren't failing. I get a 0.85, but that was a failure. So I don't think it's nothing really deep spiritually that I will have to tell anybody. It's just the fact, go to class. Stop trying to throw the most expensive party you ever throw in life by paying tuition just to party. That's go to class, pick up the book and read after class, so that you're prepared when you go to the testing center to have some knowledge about what you're taking the test on.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah, so it's just those little things, man. The little small
those little things, man. But that helps build one's self-image, because they can kind of put the whole picture together. Yeah, go to class, get good grades.
But why?
Here's what happens when you don't. That's the part that probably gets left out.
Yep, your friends go on to be successful, and you get a 0.85 grade.
0.85, 0.85.
Yeah, throw a zero in there.
And if you And if you happen to get to 0.85, then explain how you bounce back.
Yeah, I bounced back.
Yeah.
Let's get the steps on how did you bounce back? How did you end up getting that degree? You see what I'm saying? You got to give them everything.
The whole
And
process.
when they get everything, then they can internalize that and start to shape how they start to view themselves in light of all this information I've gotten.
Yeah, that's good.
If I only got a piece of it, and then I experienced a failure and didn't know how to prepare for it when it was coming because no one ever talked to me about that part, it might destroy my self-image.
Right, exactly.
But if I'm prepared, I've got all the information, forearmed to be forewarned, to be forearmed. If I've got it all,
right,
or most of that I can get, when the stumble happens, they told me about this.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? I understand what I need to do. This is what I need to do because I knew this might come.
Yeah.
As opposed to, what the heck is this? I stumbled, don't know what to do.
Yeah,
right.
Man.
Life is over. No.
Mm-hmm.
I went and faced that dean by myself. But any old way.
I was in that office one day too, bro.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
But I'll just end my statement with this, and because I know we're coming up on that hour.
We might start going
we got like
longer.
That short hour.
3 minutes left, and we need to get that wisdom nugget in. But I'll just say, when you talked about discipleship, I think one of you fellas said something about discipleship. I think that is important to have. It definitely is.
That's Jake's thing, but I'll just piggyback on
it. But one of the things that's scary about the discipleship, again, it goes back to when you try to, when you become obsessed with the person or the people's lifestyle who's discipling you, and that becomes your focus. And the word encourages us to be imitators of Christ.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's the only person that when we look at influences in the sense of, okay, I want that. I want his lifestyle. But ain't nobody saying they want to go to the cross.
Right.
But the same token, they want that inner that connection that he has with the Father and
the glory.
The glory, and they want it just seems so easy for him just to do. He said, let this cut pass, but nevertheless, they want, the easy part. The word doesn't tell us to imitate Paul, but Paul was great.
Yeah.
So
Paul himself was an imitator of Christ.
Exactly. Yeah. So that should be ultimately, again, that's my beginning and end to we want to turn things around about how we view ourselves,
right?
And how to safely glean from the world, but know how to shut them out, because if you are directly interfering with what I've been designed and crafted and made for, then I got to stop looking at you so much. I got to get back to the source.
Come on.
That's good.
Yep. You're in it, but not of it.
In it, but not of it. Yeah, this is been an awesome conversation.
Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome conversation.
And again, I say, Kirk Franklin, as he starts the song, thank you for allowing me to see myself like you do.
Wow.
I say that boldly now, not just repeating what his words, but that's what I can truly say now when I'm in my time with the Lord. Thank you for letting me see myself the way you see me.
Yeah.
It's a long time getting here.
That's good.
Yep. So that being said, Jake, you got anything to close out before Nate hit us with this wisdom?
Nothing but that Sly Stones line from his song too.
What'd that?
What'd he say, Jake?
He said, "Thank you for letting me see myself again."
Oh yeah, thank you,
Kirk Franklin. Stole from Sly Stone.
Dude, how you gonna get? Now I thought you said you weren't gonna be controversial.
I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be controversial though.
Right. We ain't gonna go there.
I'm not gonna go there. Just very similar lines. That's all I'm saying. Very similar. Sly Stones came out first, right?
He did.
Yeah. Okay. Just saying.
Yep. Decades.
All right, bro. You got your close up. Hit us with the wisdom nugget.
Wisdom. This is going to be my my discipleship for the people. I'm here to disciple you tonight with this wisdom nugget. So take heed, take notes. Listen to this. When you think you've given your all, you've really only given 60% of yourself. Let me say it again. When you think you've given your all, you've really only given 60% of what you can give. You still have 40% of ability that can only be accessed through the sheer force of will.
Ooh.
Wow, that's heavy, Nick.
That's very heavy, ain't it?
But it's wise.
Yeah.
You've got to engage that 40%. When you think you've done enough, you got more you can do.
More.
Wow, tap into more.
Yeah.
Tap into more. Hashtag tap into more. Hashtag
That's excellent, man.
engage the 40.
That's good, bro. That's real good.
Right. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what?
What's up?
I think Michael Jordan would have appreciated that back in the day.
Yeah, I think so.
Because them busters wasn't tapping to the other 40.
No, they weren't, especially
Let me stop. All right, man. It's been a pleasure hanging out with y'all, bros.
Yes,
oh yeah, man. It's been a riveting conversation as usual.
Very good tonight.
Another riveting. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right then, man. Love you guys, and we won't be here next week. Everybody enjoy your Resurrection Sunday.
Happy Easter, everybody. Enjoy your families.
Easter,
enjoy your church
resurrection.
Yep.
We will be
and
back.
We'll see you a week after that.
Yep. May 1st.
I think it's May 1st.
Man, people be cutting grass, planting flowers, all that kind of stuff.
So the next time after Easter is May 1st.
I hope so.
Is it or is it not?
Let me
no. Okay, no, it's not. I'm sorry, y'all. Don't listen to me.
Let me look at this calendar. I'm gonna give you the date.
I'm thinking we at the end of April.
It'll be April 24th.
Okay, yeah. Oh, that's right.
April 24th. Yeah.
I got a training.
So one more week of April.
Yes. Okay, perfect. So we got cool.
Yep.
All right.
All right. So we'll see you guys then.
Love. Chicken grease. All right. Have a good week, fellas.
All right,
everybody
fellas.
else.
Yeah.
All right.